What's up YouTube, welcome back to the channel. It's been quite some time since I've had an SCX24 video up on the channel, so today's the day. Here I have the ECB 3D printing monster truck chassis. It's made out of this 3D printed material, and today we're going to install it onto the monster truck body, or monster truck whatever build. Questions I have is, will I be able to use this Endura F-150 body on the cage, or will I have to use something else? So we'll see. Also worth noting, on this build, I do not have a motor or a transmission because I donated it to a different build, and so that's why I haven't really been updating you guys on my builds because everything's kind of apart right now. So this should be a pretty easy install since a lot of the internals aren't there. So let's see how it goes. So the first and most important step in this whole entire process is taking everything apart and keeping it organized. I cannot stress it enough, being organized, because once you have everything apart, things can become kind of confusing at times. So that's why I have this cool little mat right here. Kind of has all these little compartments that I can use to organize my parts. If you're interested in the mat, the link will be in the description. And I will also be using my Wera 1.3 hex. It's a great quality tool I use in all my SCX24 videos. This will also be in the description. So now let's take everything apart. Okay, so now I have mostly everything separated, mostly the bigger parts of the truck. Don't want to get too detailed with everything. So it's all organized there. Now it's time to open up the package and see if we can assemble this chassis on its own, or do we need to include parts of the truck. So I don't remember how much this chassis costs, but I know I got it off of eBay. And some guy makes it small little business. So let's see what's included. So we get two of the bigger pieces right here. Of course, this is kind of the main part of the chassis. It's made out of this 3D printed material. It's typical. I don't know, seems about standard for 3D material. Get two of those. Got all kinds of hardware. All the screws look kind of identical, so they're all the same size. The battery tray right here, some kind of support. It's going to go in between the two bigger pieces. Another, oh, these are back here in the chassis, whatever that's called. Got two of those. Some more support pieces. I'm gonna have to look up some pictures online. And then I'm assuming this is like another kind of support piece. So it's gonna take some investigating online. Maybe go check out his Instagram page, and then I'll get to putting everything together. So there aren't any instructions provided with the kit, but it's pretty simple. If you grab an image off of his Instagram page, you can kind of see how everything's put together. And there's plenty of different pictures online, so just kind of look at all the different angles, and it'll be pretty easy to assemble. So I'll update you guys once everything starts to coming together. So everything is going pretty good so far, because I do have photos, like I said, from the Instagram account. Without those, I think I'd be pretty lost. But everything's going well. I do want to note that this piece right here, the battery tray and whatever, I think these are magnet mounts for a body. I didn't know which direction to put them in. The pictures are kind of hard to see, so I'm assuming because the holes are up top for the magnets, those need to face up. I just didn't know whether if it went in like this, or the tray exactly was in this direction, but because the magnet mounts are in the rear, you kind of have to know that they're in the rear. So I'm assuming it's going in just like that. And then we'll get these crossbars right here, and we'll be all done. About 25 minutes have passed, and everything is now together. It was a little bit tricky. I did mention earlier that all the screws are the same size. They're clearly not. I don't know why I didn't see that earlier. But I did not use the right screws in all the spots, so I had to kind of go through again and switch them out. There's 3 different sizes, but everything is all together now. Now I need to put on the skid plate. I took it all apart because I thought it came with the skid plate for some reason. So now I have to put all this back together for no reason. I took it apart. But we'll get that in, and then I'll start figuring out where all the electronics go, and the battery tray, and everything like that. So here is a closer look at everything. So this is a support. You can have the magnets if you'd like. Down here, this tray right here is the ESC tray. It's also support. Up top is just like a support between the two cages. Here's the battery tray down in the middle, acts as a support. Here I was really confused on, so I'm guessing this is just for mounting a body. Couldn't really see another purpose for it. But yeah, there's that. You needed to put 2 screws to attach it to the battery tray. And then we have these 2 crossbars right here, just kind of give it a cool look. And And then it has the 4 holes for the factory skid plate. Here's a look from the bottom. There's the battery tray, the ESC tray, supports. Yeah, pretty simple design. Now let's put everything together. So I removed the skid plate and I forgot which direction it goes in the truck, like which direction faces forward. So I simply just grabbed my SCX24 Gladiator, and you can tell this is the front of the truck. So the bump needs to be on that side. So now that's how you know which way is the right direction for your truck. You also can just look up an image off of Google if you don't have a truck on hand. So when installing this skid plate on this chassis, typically there's 2 mounting locations on either side of the skid plate to connect the chassis to the skid plate. But on this chassis, there's only one. So it's one right there. Typically would be another one right there, but there's no hole drilled. I don't feel like drilling a hole, so I'm not gonna do that. And I have it here on the Gladiator just to show you a different view of what's going on. So there's one right there, and there's one right there. And so on that chassis, there's only one. So it's something worth noting. So here I have the front end now onto the chassis. The install is pretty simple, connecting back all my links up here. And then I went with this most center hole in the shock tower. And there was a little bit binding because I tightened the shocks too much into the chassis, so they're kind of bent. So I backed them up a little bit. And now we get that full articulation. So it's looking pretty good. We're getting there. So now I gotta do the rear. All right, so here we are. Everything is now all together, on the chassis at least. So now I need to remove the ESC from this ESC tray right here. I need to put that in. I need to get the battery strap, the battery. And I was playing around with it already, and it does not look like this body will fit this truck. So that is gonna be an issue going forward, but we'll figure it out. So this ESC right here, typically they are just on with some double-sided tape, which should be no issue taking it off. I'm gonna grab a knife just to make things a little bit cleaner, and then we'll get that into the chassis. So here is the ESC removed off of the ESC tray from the donor build. And now I have some 3M double-sided tape, so I'm just gonna grab it and put a little bit, how should I put this? Put a little bit, just like that. And we're just gonna test fit it. So when you put it in here, this switch right here kind of hits part of the chassis. So you gotta put it in there in a weird wiggle way. But once it's in, you can see that it fits now, which is really nice. Nice fitment up here. Which is good too because we'll be able to use our stock servo right now. We don't have to get a longer extension. So I'll remove that double-sided tape and then we'll place it in there like that. So there is everything installed onto the chassis. The battery is unfortunately dead, so I can't show you that it works right now, even though I don't have a transmission or anything, motor. That's gonna be interesting to see how to fit all that back in there once I get a motor and transmission. Do I have to take apart everything? Probably. That just comes with it. Overall, this was a pretty simple kit to put together. It took me about an hour. Hardest part was just figuring out where everything went, but there's plenty of resources online, like his Instagram. So yeah guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Hopefully I'll be more kind of consistent with this monster truck build. See ya.